Hi guys, this is Anul here, and I'm back again with UAE Achievers Talkshow Season 2. As promised, got you another special guest onto the show, welcoming Mr. Imran Khan, who is a book author coach, and a book publisher. Welcome, Mr. Imran Khan.
Thank you, Anil. It's a pleasure to be here. A great honor. Heard so much about your show, and thank you very much for having me today.
Well, the pleasure is all mine. It's a great honor to have you on our show today. I think let's begin from the word book publishing, right? So,
Right.
take us through that journey. What actually happened that you started book publishing? Tell us about that.
Right. Great question. Anil, most of us have a book in us. We have it in our thoughts. We want to write a book. Somehow we don't get the time. We don't have the expertise to write a book. And I've been through that process the last maybe 40 years. I've wanted to write a book, but never had the time. COVID allowed me the time, when we locked down, nothing to do, just my wife and myself stuck in our apartment in Dubai and not having much to happen in our life at that time, I decided to write a book. To put together my 40, 45 years of experience. So my first book I wrote during COVID. So COVID was a blessing to me. I wrote my first book. It's called Business, the Only Option. Also at that time, if you remember, many people were losing their jobs. Across the world, something like 5 million people lost their jobs for various reasons. There was slowdown, there was a shutdown. So this book was the book of the moment because it was to inspire people to start their own entrepreneurial journey. So this takes somebody from an employment to a entrepreneurship. It's called Job Seeker to Job Creator. So I wrote this book. It's a 300-page book. It's a great tool for somebody who wants to start a business. It's a reference book. It's not something you read as a novel cover to cover. So that's how my book journey started. I got so inspired by this process of writing a book. I found it such a huge personal growth for me. So I decided to make this my mission, my passion to help other people write books. So that's how I became a author coach. And then I tied up with the publishing company who published my book. It's a UK-based publishing company called Actionwell Publishing, and I represent them here in the Gulf region. So all books that are written by authors in the Gulf, published by Actionwell Publishing in the UK. So that's how I got into this fantastic uh, industry. My biggest challenge, if I can add to this,
Yeah.
is teaching people the importance of writing a book or why they should write a book. So that's what I
Wow,
do.
that's amazing, actually. And we'll obviously go deep dive and talk more about book publishing. But take us through your background. What's it's been like? What did you study? How was it?
Right. Okay. So total 180 degrees turnaround. I qualified as a chartered certified accountant in the UK in 1981, if I'm
Wow.
giving my age away. Okay. Had my own accountancy practice in the UK. So I'm a trained accountant. So nothing to do with being on a show like this or writing books or working with the public. Um, Moved to Dubai 25 years ago because the children were young enough to make that move from UK to Dubai. We didn't want them to grow up in the UK for cultural, religious reasons. So we moved to Dubai. Dubai was great. It was a nice, small, compared to today, it was a much smaller city.
Yeah.
And it was a great place to be near. I'm from Pakistan. My wife's from India. So it was a great fusion for us to be in Dubai. And it was a great experience for our kids as well. They grew up in Dubai. So they had all the best of the West and
Yeah.
best of the Indian Asian
Sure.
culture. So that was excellent. So when I came here, I moved into general management. I moved into IT. I started a company in e-learning back in 2000 when internet was coming in. So teaching people how to use the internet and the computer courses, the IT courses. So that's how I moved into e-learning courses. And for the first 4 years, we had like 33 countries, hundreds of offices everywhere, over a million users for our company. And then we became a victim of our own success. So then we moved into real estate. Real estate boom was happening in Dubai. If you remember 2003, 4, 5, crazy times with real estate. So yeah, I got involved in real estate, developed a company in Dubai. We are in construction and development, move that company across the world in Pakistan, in UK. And COVID was the time when I decided to take a back seat, go into semi-retirement, and that's how the book journey goes. So that's in a nutshell what I've been doing.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, such wealth of experience. Talking about, tell us an interesting corporate story and what was your learning from there?
Okay. Something that I always remember, and I like to share that with you and your viewers. When I first qualified, got my uh, professional certificate from the Association of Certified and Chartered Accountants, which is a big deal for me. I was 23 years old and I'd achieved what I thought was a pinnacle of my dreams and my success, because from 10 years old, I've been wanting this thing, right?
Wow.
So when I finally got this certificate, I'm qualified. The senior partner, the head of our organization that I was working with, I was asked to go to his room. Now, this gentleman is the icon of the industry, the accountancy industry in London, and going into his office itself was a huge thing, right? And I was overawed by his presence. I hardly ever saw this gentleman. He's like in his 80s at that time. And he only invited people like me, the newbies, the trainees, into his office with something had either gone terribly wrong or was a celebration. So this was a celebration moment. And what he said to me is stayed with me all my life, and I'd like to share that with all the viewers. At that point, I thought I knew it all. I'd qualified as an accountant. My dreams come true. You're at the top of your profession. You've just been given this honor of qualifying. And Mr. Godfrey turned around to me and said, young man, you can start learning now. So this has stuck with me, and I shared it with all the young people, that don't think you have achieved your qualification or your degree or whatever what you want to achieve, that's the end of it. It actually starts from there. So learning is a lifelong experience. So that impact has stayed with me all my life, and everything I've done ever since has been all about learning and making progress. So yeah, that would be my biggest takeaway from this conversation.
Well, this conversation is truly inspiring for me. And I'm very interested to now know what's your daily motivation? What's your motivation mantra like?
Interesting. You asked this question. Obviously, there are many. Okay, the many things that influence your life. Many teachers, many people who you come across every day. They all become your teachers somewhere or the other. But something that stayed with me for the last maybe 30, 35 years has been the fact that I came across a statement or a quotation from a gentleman called Zig Ziglar, who obviously is no more, but in the 80s and 90s was a huge personal development trainer in America. And he said something very simple but very profound. He says, if you help enough people get what they want, you will get what you want.
Wow.
So if we live our philosophy by this mantra, as you may call it, or this attitude that you are every day wanting to help people get what they want, automatically someone's going to come and help you to get what you want. That's the law of the world. That's your karma. That's the way the world works, right? So
Sure.
that's what I've always believed in.
I think at this point, I'd also like to a little bit go back to the book publishing part of it. I think a lot of audience needs to know. I personally also want to know, why should one write a book?
Excellent. Like, as I said earlier, everybody has a book in them, right? So there are obviously different reasons why you want to write a book. The books that we teach people to write is about branding themselves, to become the tool. Now, for example, this book, when I wrote this book, okay, this was to bring visibility, credibility, and authority in the marketplace for me to be recognized as a business consultant, as a business coach, to show people that I can take them from a job employment situation onto an entrepreneurial journey, where even the book will take you to how you become a unicorn, which is $1 billion valuation company. So this is the reason why I wrote this book. It's about branding, it's about visibility, it's about showing the world that you have the knowledge, the expertise. Interestingly, in America and some of the other Western European countries, book writing for personal branding or your business branding is a very common thing. Every famous person you talk, every top 100 companies, the Fortune 500 companies, the Forbes companies, all the CEOs, you name them, all the founders of technology companies have all written books. and many have written several books. So I know there must be a reason for it, right?
Sure.
In this part of the world, in our culture, it's now coming in. People try understanding. See, when you author a book, you actually become an authority. When you actually put this book in front of an audience, maybe it's your client, maybe it's your shareholder, your investor, uh, you don't need to say anything else. And interestingly, most people will not even read the book cover to cover. We need to understand that. But the fact that the book is there, they can browse through the pages of the book, they can see that you've written a book. You are a serious person. You are here to stay. And especially in a city like Dubai, with so much competition,
Yeah.
every day, hundreds of companies are literally coming into the industry that we are in. And there's so much competition, you need to stand out. A book allows you to do that. I also wrote another book. This was written a few months ago. It's a book to help people understand, and business people to understand why they should write a book. It's called 7 Reasons Why Publishing Your Book Can Supercharge Your Business in Dubai. It's a very small book, so literally 150-page book. It's a 2-hour read, very simple. This is my calling card. So when people give you a calling card, it probably costs about 50 fills or something. And usually you'll keep it for a few days or a few weeks, and then you say, what's this thing? And you lose it, right?
Yeah.
This book, they don't throw away. They will keep it, okay? And so if any business wrote a book about themselves, or the business owner wrote a book about themselves, or the business wrote about the business itself, this becomes your marketing tool. It becomes your number one marketing tool, actually makes money for you as a book because it opens up doors, it opens up connections, and it's a brilliant networking tool. So I use this book as my calling card. I use this book as my branding book. And this is what I coach people to do. This is what our entire company, Action Mark Publishing, over the last 5 years, we've published over 500 books, so 500 authors. And all of them are designed to teach people what the author knows, so the author can build his branding, his visibility, his credibility. So that's why books are important.
Important and unique, for
Yep.
sure. Yeah. Let's talk about your accomplishments, right? So we want to know more. I mean, I'm sure there's lots that's there with you. Tell us. Yeah.
It's been an enormous journey of roller coaster rides, like
Really?
all lives. There's lots of ups and downs, relatively speaking.
Sure.
When you talk about accomplishments, obviously being qualifying as a chartered accountant was an accomplishment. Having a practice in the UK was an accomplishment. But for me, the biggest thing was when I started this e-learning company in 99 or 2000. Dubai Internet City was being started. So we formed a company at that time to teach people how to use the internet, how to use Microsoft Suite, the Word and Excel and PowerPoint and all these things, in the local language. So that was the accomplishment. That was the achievement. There were a lot of e-learning courses in English, but for our region, in our regional languages like Arabic and Hindi and Urdu and Bengali and Persian and Turkish, Malaysian Bahasa and Senegalese, Tamil, there were no such e-learning courses. So this is what we did. And like I said earlier, 1 million users certified. We also brought in the concept of, you have the websites today or applications today that help you build a website, right? In 2000, websites were unknown. I was telling people that if you don't have a website, you don't have a business. Today, everybody has a website. Everybody needs a website, right? So we started what I believe is the first in the region of having a template-based website builder.
Wow.
And today you've got others, like I won't name them now for obvious reasons. But we were pioneering this about 23 years ago. So yeah, I think that is my biggest, what I'd say, contribution to this region, to teach them how to use the internet. Because most youngsters at that time, you may have been very young, most youngsters were educated in IT. Okay, the people in their late teens, early 20s, but anybody above 30 plus were left out. So that was the market that we went for. So anybody 30 plus could actually, from their home, learn how to use a computer, how to use the internet. And then we found that many people didn't have internet connections in this region, or internet connections were slow, expensive. Laptops and computers were expensive. So we started centers, training centers to teach them how to do it. You remember the internet cafe of
Yes.
some years ago?
Yeah.
So we had internet cafe type systems
Nice.
across 35 countries where people could come learn our e-learning programs from that internet cafe.
Wow.
So internet cafe turned into a training center. That was the concept.
So, Mr. Imran, you are now a book author and you've run successful businesses in the past, be it real estate or IT companies, e-learning, and so much. What is the best takeaway you'd like to share? Some of the best tips and tricks or takeaways for our followers.
Okay, thank you. Very great question. Another the thing is that whatever business you do, fundamentally, every business, it has the same characters. Right? The characteristics are the same traits, same values. And let me share you my top 3. Okay, what I've learned over the years that consistently over everything, whatever you do, you can apply these 3 things, and I hope your audience will find that useful. Okay, of course, hard work and everything goes into that, but this is for me the extra bonus that I find makes a big difference. First of all, you've got to be a nice person. Okay, people have to like you, no matter who you are, what you do. Humility, the people to like you, is fundamentally the biggest way to reach any successful achievement. Okay, because if you're not,
Yeah.
and you're arrogant and people don't like you, even if you achieve the successes, the riches, the fame, the fortune, if people don't like you, it's no meaning. Then it becomes a very meaningless achievement.
Yeah.
So that's very important, right? Second thing I would say is focus. Now, many people today are great at multitasking. I know you are, right? And I really admire you for having managed so many different things of your
Thank
life, including your family life. Multitasking is fantastic. And what I've seen you do is very well is when you are doing one thing, you're actually focusing on that thing. And that is the message I'd like to convey to your audience today, that you may do several things. I mean, the people who are running 100 businesses out there and have a family life and have a social life and have a sports life and have a religious life. They balance their life so beautifully. But what they do is when they're doing that one thing, they're focused on it. So focus is so important. In fact, the most successful people in the world, such as Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, and all of these people who asked, what is the key to the success? And everybody came up with that one word, focus. Focus means that when I'm here with you, I'm not thinking about anything else. The world shuts down. I switch off. Even the voices in my head, that we all have these inner voices,
Yes.
even they shut down because I'm focused here. Okay, what unfortunately many people do is when they're at office, they're thinking about the home, the wife and the children, the family life, whatever. And when they're at home with their family, they're thinking about their work and the boss and everything else. So it's totally the wrong way of doing things. So learning to focus on where you are, because now is the present, and that's why it's called a present.
Yeah.
Okay, so focus is for me the most important action. And third, I think the fundamental to any success is to have a goal. Okay, goal setting, whether you have a long-term goal, a medium-term goal, a short-term goal, a goal for what you're going to do tonight, what you're going to do tomorrow. If we live our life by having goals, I know some people say that this is very materialistic. This may be very calculating. But at the end of the day, whatever you want to achieve in life, whether even it's happiness, it has to be quantified. What does happiness mean to you? If you talk about success, what does success mean to you? So these have to be quantified, measurable, documented, written down, have a time frame, and that becomes a goal, and then you work towards a goal. Because if a human being, we are not going towards something, we're going to fall down. It's like a bicycle. If a bicycle is not moving, it needs a stand to support it, or it will fall down.
Yeah.
So our psychology, human psychology, nature has created us, is to be moving towards something.
Yeah.
When we're not moving towards something, then we get lost, we get blocked, we don't know what's going on, people go into depression. Therefore, goal setting is, I would say, is fundamentally. So whatever business you're in, there has to be goals. Whatever profession you are, whatever your personal life is, whatever you do in life, there has to be a goal. And because we're talking about goals, I would like to say that we're talking end of December,
Yeah.
2024 has already started. For some people like myself, 2024 starts not on the 1st of January, 2024. For me, January 24 starts in October 2023. Because from October, November, December, I start planning my year. So when we're doing goal setting, we always set goals in advance, and then we have a plan to achieve them, and then we go out and implement those goals. So that would be my three
Amazing.
offerings to your audience today.
I think that's a great takeaway for all the audiences out there. But let's face it, right? Maintaining that work life, family life balance is tough. How were you able to do that so beautifully?
I have not been able to do that beautifully. It is one of those things. Life is never going to be equal. Okay, so you'll never be able to balance everything 100% perfectly. What happens as you are a young person, you have a young family, you'll have to give a little bit more time to the young family. As you grow older, as your children, get more independent and they need less parenting, you have then more time to do other things. Right? So as we go through our life, different stages of our life, our work-life balance changes accordingly. I have a very supportive, very patient wife, so that helps. Okay, because it's a partnership, right?
Sure, of course.
Every marriage is so. But we've had our challenges because of the time when I was young and the young kids. So you have to work harder because you've got to provide for them. And it's not easy raising a family, from a financial point of view. So you got to work harder, longer hours, etc., etc. But that is obviously the whole thing about balancing your life. Knowing that if you set the goals, so one of those goals has to be time with my family. One of those goals have to be, your health. One of those goals has to be your spirituality, religion, whatever you have. So those things are equally important than your materialistic, your business goals as well. Work-life balance. And I'm very proud to say that one of my achievements or accomplishments other than business, and I believe it's a bigger achievement than all the businesses I've ever done, is that I have co-founded 4 children and co-parented 4 wonderful children, 3 girls and a boy. 3 of them are in London, one's in America. And I'm very proud of them. Now they have their own children now. Okay, so that is a biggest achievement, I think, for a human being. So you procreate a human being, and that human being you help nurture and parent, and they grow up, and then they actually multiply as well. So that, I think, is our ultimate aim, to have a happy family, happy life. And it doesn't come easy. You got to work at it, right? Nothing's going to happen itself.
Yeah, so true. But I'm sure you have managed it well over the years.
We've
If
tried.
you agree.
I mean, the proof is there. I mean, they're great kids, they're great parents themselves now. I have got 4 children, as I said. I've got 8 grandchildren, and they're all independent. They're doing the thing. You see, for me, again, let's define what a parenting is. I mean, over the years, I've learned that a parenting is to prepare our children for when we are not around. Right? Now, that could be when they're in school and we are home, so we are not with them. They could be with their friends. They could be at a party. They could be, playing sports. And of course, when we are not in the world, they can do without us.
Yeah.
That is called parenting. So if my 3 children are in England, 1 in America, I'm in Dubai, and they're doing great without me, so I must have done something right,
Wow. Well, both of us know that you are associated with a wonderful networking organization, and you've recently become the president as well. Tell us more about that.
Well, I'm very proud to be a member of BNI. BNI is Business Network International. It's a near 40-year-old organization. Started in America in 1985, globally in about 80 countries, about 11,000 groups of these people with 315,000 members globally. In Dubai, we have nearly 1,100 members. We have 25 chapters, and one of those chapters based in North Dubai region, in Garud area, near Dubai airport. I'm the president of that chapter. Okay, so BNI Glory is a chapter that I'm the chapter president for at the moment. I'm very proud of it. The great work that BNI does is gets business people together who help each other grow their business. So our chapter members, they come from, we've got like 30 chapter members. They come from different business backgrounds, business categories, different business sectors. And when you put 30 people together who are business owners, entrepreneurs, to help each other grow their business, of course, a lot of business is going to happen. And globally, BNI is a phenomenal organization, which means we get the opportunity to network with people from all over the world. So yeah, I'm very proud to be currently the president of BNI Glory, helping people grow their business.
Wow, that's amazing. And I'm sure after this interesting, insightful, and informative conversation, my viewers, followers, members would love to be connected with you. How can they do that?
I'm sure. I hope people get inspired by this conversation and want to write their own awesome book. Book is something. So, what you say, any life worth living is worth documenting, right? So that's a important thing to remember. So we need to document life. A lot of people think, oh, when I achieve something in life, I'll then write a book. No, let me tell you, everybody's achieved something in life. You know, a 10-year-old kid has already achieved something in their life. So all of us have reached wherever we have through some achievement. Okay, so let's document it. Let's put a book together. And if anybody's interested in learning how to do it, why they should write a book, what they should write about, how to write, get in touch with Expired Hub. Get in touch with your organization, your wonderful people. They can connect your audience with me. I'd love to do that.
It has been such a pleasure and honor to have you on the show. Thank you so much for giving your precious time to us. And I am super, super thrilled. And I'm looking forward to release this podcast soon.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
It's been a pleasure. It's great being here with you today.
Any life living is worth documenting, says Mr. Imran Khan, the coach, author, and book publisher. It was a pleasure shooting with him today. Stay tuned for more upcoming podcasts and some interesting guests onto the show.